Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer, me, Gary Lineker, and Micah Richards. The round of 16 is over and we now know the final 8 teams left standing in Euro 2024 that will compete in the quarterfinals. We'll get onto those games in just a moment, but before we do that, Micah, you're not here in Berlin. You've popped home. We miss you. How you doing?
Miguel!
Miguel!
It's been about 10 hours, that's all, lads.
Well, yeah, I know, but it feels like 3 days.
I am missing you two, actually.
When you coming back? When you come and join us again?
I'll be back on Friday, but you won't be there, will you, Al? You're travelling to Dusseldorf.
I'm travelling to Dusseldorf for the England game for the Core-Coms on Saturday afternoon, evening, yep.
Micah, something just happened to us on the way here
to
the studio, to this
like
apartment
what?
studio tonight. Yeah, we were wandering back. We had a little bit of Italian, which was lovely, a little bit of food after we did the early game, and came here to watch the Austria-Turkey game. We walked past, that little, that's kind of a little shop on the way, and there's the kind of musical theatre place on the way. And there was a guy out there there was a little crowd of people, and the guy starts shouting to me and Alan in German. And I'm saying, I'm sorry, I don't speak German, you speak English. And he said, yeah, I speak English. He said, I want to know, how long have you two been together? You are a really lovely couple. Right? Honestly, I swear this is true, right? So I said to him, well, actually, since 1992. February 1992, I remember it well.
I thought he was concerned that some fucking old man was about to abduct me or something like that.
Says the spring chicken from Geordieland.
Honestly, I've never been so offended in all my life.
Why?
I'm sorry, but yeah.
Oh, that's a bit.
That's a good couple, though, wouldn't you?
What? I think we would.
We did have lovely meal and a lovely bottle of wine, though, didn't we?
We did.
We were holding hands together?
Well,
or?
I thought we should as we walked away into the distance, but we didn't. It was a lot of fun. In fact, it's been a fun day. We're staying in a hotel, and obviously we're staying in a hotel with BBC and stuff, and the hotel put this thing out today, and they sent it to all the rooms, and I've got it here, and it's saying, wishing you another great day in Berlin for the Euro 2024 Championships. It is all just a question of sport. And I thought, question of sport? Really, that's strange. And it's gone, the question. In 1996, the championships were held in England. For 2 points, how many teams competed in the final that year? And who was the top scorer for the tournament? And I thought, Shearer's been to reception here and asked them to do this. This is outrageous. So anyway, here's my reply. 16, and can you see it, Mike? It says Alan fucking Shearer. I was throwing that away.
I asked the management to put that on.
Did you actually do that?
No, I didn't. No.
Come on, you did. They didn't just do that. Let's be honest.
Outrageous behaviour. We've got 8 teams left now. And we had a little thing, didn't we, where we'd predict all the results and who would go through and to see who did the best. Now, Alan did really well up until today.
6 out of 6 I had until this morning.
And then what happened?
Nosedived.
Because you
Last
went
2
with Romania.
incorrect. I went with Romania and I went with Austria.
You did. Mike had a bad start because his heart ruled his head. And you went with Italy over Switzerland, which actually everyone after that was right, Micah. You even went with Turkey against Austria. I mean, who would have thought of that? Well, me.
How many did you get right, Gaz?
8 out of 8.
8 out of 8.
The only time in my life.
Unbelievable.
Amazing. So I was really quite happy with that. So
You just copied me, though, didn't you, with the Turkey? Because I went different with Turkey. Because I went second on the pick, and then you was like, oh, actually, I was going to go Turkey as well.
Well, if you listen back, I was going, no, you can't do that, because that's what I was going to do, because I thought it would differentiate me. But I've forgotten you'd failed miserably with Italy anyway. So, I got them all right. Amazing.
Should be a pundit.
Should have had a bet. Yeah, but there we go. Who's impressed you most in the last 16?
Spain. Still.
Go on, tell us more.
I just think everything they've done in every single game, I think they've had a plan. And for the vast majority of the minutes they've played, they've stuck to it and it's worked for them. I think they've been absolutely outstanding and they without doubt have been the best team.
I would agree with that to a certain extent. I think they're scoring a lot of goals. I think the balance of the team is right. I think with Ruiz and Rodri in midfield, Williams and Yamal in the wings, and then you've got Morata up front making those runs. But they do leave themselves exposed a lot. They press really high, which is good. Attacking football that we all want to see, of course. But there was moments in that game against Georgia where they were open, really, really open. And yes, they look electric, but I just worry going further in the tournament, they'll have to shore it up a little bit.
Germany next.
I mean, Germany are a good side. I said at the start of the tournament, especially after that first win against Scotland, you don't know how much of a measure that was going to be because Scotland looked really nervous in the opening. They had the home advantage and everything. But I just thought the balance in the team was perfect with Toni Kroos in midfield, Andrić as well, and then Gundogan just in front. Wirtz and Musiala sort of playing number 10s and number 8 roles. And then Havertz leading the line. The balance of the team looked really good, but I just think as well, they can be got at as well with Germany. So I would say they're impressive, but I don't think they're the finished article just yet.
Switzerland
Switzerland have been really impressive. They play England next. You went for Italy, actually, but I think that was more heart than head. And obviously, because you played in Italy for, 3 weeks. And
with like half the world.
Yeah.
So many players.
It's amazing how many players that have got stories, even in this tournament that you played with at Fiorentina.
Yeah,
Firenze, in Firenze.
Firenze, let's get it right. We had Ilicic, who had that remarkable story about him sort of overcoming depression. We did it on the show at BBC. It was a great moment. And then he took a penalty, didn't he? And he missed it, which I was devastated for him.
Let's talk about that game, actually, because, it was amazing, wasn't it? Because obviously, Diogo Costa, who made 3 saves, he was the hero of the day because they had a one-on-one, didn't they, when Pepe gave it away as well. And Šeško went through one-on-one, didn't he? And the keeper saved it, and then he saved all the penalties in the shootout. But even then, the day was not about him, was it? It ended up being about Cristiano Ronaldo, who kind of had about 4 free kick attempts, I think, who had missed penalty, who had a one-on-one with the goalkeeper and missed them, and then obviously burst into tears and he got all emotional, and it became about him. Do you think that becomes a little bit of a problem for Portugal?
Well, I said, didn't I, before ball was kicked, that if Portugal are going to go deep into the tournament, it all depends on how Roberto Martinez handles him and deals with him. And that still is the case because he's played every game. Mm-hmm. I know he took him off in the 3rd game, but other than him, I think the goalkeeper and Paulinho, the whole of the team was rested for the 3rd group game. Mm-hmm. And then the game, that game was sort of summed it up, is that is how it is going to be for Portugal. It has to be about Ronaldo. He's 39 years of age. Clearly, he's not as good as he was. He's not as quick as he was. He's not as sharp as he was in the box, but his movement is still
it's fantastic.
Very, very good. He obviously demands to play every game. He demands to take every free kick, which, you got Bruno Fernandes on there, who's a wonderful free kick taker.
Way better than actually.
And he had, maybe 4 or 5, and one of them was from ridiculous angle where he had to get on it and he had to shoot. And then obviously the penalty, and then he burst into tears after that. It was hysterical, wasn't it? It was like...
I mean, obviously I had experience of kind of an emotional outburst on a pitch in 1990 with Gaza, but that was slightly different. That was, after he committed a foul and the referee gave him a yellow card, and it meant that he wouldn't, if we had beaten Germany, which, we nearly did. We hit the inside of the post in extra time, Chris Waddle. And if we'd have, won that game, he wouldn't have been able to play in the final. So you can understand his emotion for that. But the Ronaldo thing's just a missed penalty. It's like a missed chance. And he hasn't scored in the tournament. You know that he wants that record of having scored in like 6 Euros. No one's ever played in 6 Euros, but let alone scoring all of them. So you understand, why he would have desperately wanted to score. Fine. And then brilliant save from Oblak. Wasn't a bad penalty. It was absolutely fabulous save.
Yeah, amazing.
But the team weren't losing. There was still lots to play for, and it was kind of almost. I don't want to say this, but it was almost like a schoolboy that is a really talented schoolboy that things don't happen for, and then he has a little bit of a breakdown. I've seen it, but it was different to the Gaza thing. And Gaza was just, his bottom lip went slightly, but this was a kind of a full outburst. But It is amazing, though. I mean, it just shows you that he's so driven, which is one of the reasons why he's as great as he is in many ways.
Well,
but the problems, does that give Roberto? I think Roberto Martinez has handled him really well, because he said you either say to Ronaldo, you're completely out or you're completely in. I don't think you can have any middle ground.
No.
But I watch him and I still think he's a massive threat in the box. His movement's brilliant. He can't quite climb as high as he used to do.
No.
But, he still might do something. But if he takes him off, if he'd have taken him off in that game, which he could conceivably have done after he was emotional, that would have caused a furore in the camp. So I think it's a very delicate issue with him, and whether that will have any kind of negative effect on or impactful effect on how Portugal finish the tournament, we'll have to wait and see.
Just before you come in, Micah, we've both had our say. When he's missed his penalty, and it was a magnificent save. But given all the things we've said, it has to be about Ronaldo. It's all about him missing a couple of chances, whatever, taking the free kicks. But for him to have the balls, which he had to do, he had to get up, he had to go up first and take that first penalty in the shootout after what he had done in terms of missing 15, 20 minutes before that. That took some nuts to do that, and then to stick it away.
One thing we know about Ronaldo, he's got balls of steel.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And then for him to stick it in the side net and with a bit of whip on it was, you've got to give him huge credit.
What a moment!
Yeah,
I think we've got to put ourselves in the mind of Cristiano Ronaldo there, because
I don't know how you do that.
But you guys were great players, and you had to deal with big moments. But every moment of his life is documented. And for whatever reason, rightly or wrongly, having to deal with that on a day-to-day basis, for me, that was just all his emotion coming out. He wants to be the leader. He wants to be the main man. Mm-hmm. And he thought he'd let his country down in one of the most important moments of the competition. And he knows that's not him. So I agree with Alan in terms of having the balls, having the courage to go up and take the penalty and score it, by the way. Score it, not just take it again, because just having that sort of attitude to go up to it and take the penalty, and he could have missed, but he took responsibility. And that is the difference. And that is why he's one of the greatest of all time.
What about the free kicks, though, Micah? Do you know?
But that's up to your teammates, isn't it? Come on,
it's not, though, is it?
You've got
it's
some
not
teammates
Micah,
who are brilliant at free kicks.
I don't know. You guys have played with some top players. I've not played with a superstar like Ronaldo, but it's very hard to say to Ronaldo, "I'm taking the free kick."
No,
Isn't
it is hard,
really?
absolutely hard, but it's almost impossible actually because
Exactly.
it's almost impossible, despite the fact that his
you know-
records actually. I mean, what was it? 1 in 60 something now.
Yeah,
that he scored from in tournaments.
Yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes, is a better free kick taker and more varied free kick taker than Ronaldo. So that's why I'm saying that. Whilst he's a massive strength, he can also be possible. You know what you're saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
your
absolutely.
greatest strengths are often your weaknesses as well.
Well, that has
And it's
to come
nothing
from it.
against Cristiano, because what an unbelievable player. I was watching him yesterday, and his movement in the box is absolutely perfect. He does it better than anyone else I've ever seen, actually, as a 9. The way that he'll just go forward one way and the other way, but he does it with a sharpness, and you know that he's got a presence in the air as well. He is unbelievably good at that, but it's more the ego side of him that could be ultimately the weakness for probably himself, Portugal, and Roberto.
Yeah, because I mean, the free kick scenarios, it has to come from him to say, well, go on, you take it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than someone else coming and say, come on, let me have one now. He has to say, go on, you have a go. And with his record's terrible on free kicks. It's awful.
Yeah, I find it fascinating though, the whole thing with the Ronaldo show. I think it really is, because for a manager, you've got someone whose powers are waning, but he's 39. But he's still Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a superstar, beyond superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, he's almost the most famous person on the planet, not just footballer. He's right up there in the top 5 famous people in the world. So it's.
But would you start him? The question.
How do you leave him out? If you leave him out now, Micah, the thing becomes a shit show. You, as a manager, everything. It's like you have to deal with it. I think Roberto Martinez has handled him really well. I think he appeases his ego. You could see even when he missed his penalty at the end, and then he was up to him and he was hugging him and all this kind of thing. I thought it was brilliant man management of a person that is probably difficult to man manage.
Couldn't agree.
Totally agree with that.
And ultimately, they won the game as I thought they would, because once it comes to a penalty shootout, the team generally with the best players will win, because they're the best players for a reason, and Ronaldo's one of those, because he's got an incredibly strong mentality.
But he doesn't look out his depth. Just quickly,
No, he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. He's still fantastic.
He's still getting in the right positions, isn't he? We're talking inches away from having a few goals, and he got his assist as well in one of the previous games as well. So I would still play him. I did a piece on how the press, because Portugal play really high, he doesn't really need to do the press. He can do maybe 1 or 2 sprints to get the ball back within 10 passes. So it's not a problem in my eyes. It's just I'd like to see him get a goal for him and the team, and just to take a little bit of pressure off Martinez as well. I said on BBC that I'd worked with him. I didn't want to name CBS on BBC.
I don't know why. That would have been fine. It's an American broadcaster, Micah. Honestly, I said at the time, didn't I? I said, it's
yes,
fine.
you did.
And even if you were working on Sky with him, that would have been fine as well. That's not kind of a BBC thing. It would not have been. Trust me. I understand why you did it. I was thinking, when you mentioned him, you went, I worked with him, and I was thinking, right, Christ, when did which club? He certainly wasn't at Man City. He certainly wasn't at Aston Villa. Olympics wasn't that. England definitely not. And I was thinking, Christ, where? And then I asked you, didn't I? I said, when did you work with him? You went, oh, on another TV channel. I can't mention.
You can say what you want, man. You're the biggest pundit now on the BBC. Well, I mean, when I say the biggest, you know what I mean.
Guns. Let's make that clear.
We've already addressed that. We don't say biggest, we say well blessed.
Well, that we don't know, because obviously that we don't know.
Oh, well, I'll come and join you, since you two are having it all cozy up there. We can.
We watched the France-Belgium game. What do we think? It wasn't, two teams really struggling a little bit.
You know what it is with France, and no one's really talking about it, that they've changed their system so many times. They've put Mbappe out on the left on one game. They put him up front in another game. They're putting Griezmann a little bit deeper. Then they put him on the right. Yeah. Then they're changing. It's just...
Because it hasn't worked,
weird.
That's why.
Yeah,
It's because the expectation levels of France are massive. You think England's bad. Obviously, I've worked with Thierry. I know the journalist Julien Laurent. And they get a lot of stick in France.
It's the same everywhere, Micah. It's the same everywhere. We were talking about, Jose Font when he was on. He was saying it's the same in Portugal. It's honestly, people, this thing they were talking about, the criticism of the press is the same everywhere you go. Every country expects their team. And we all know what it's like. When it's your country, it matters more. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you end up being more critical. It's like with your kids, isn't it? You want a lot from your kids. You expect a lot from them. And you can be critical. You can be punishing towards your own children. But the minute somebody else talks about your own children, then you get defensive. Yeah. That's what it's like the same. People think, we're being critical of England. Of course we are, because they've not played very well. But it's the same in all these countries, the big footballing countries. The expectation. Can you imagine? I saw so many clips about Italy when they went out. I don't know whether you saw this thing where in an Italian restaurant where one of the waiters had a pizza in his hand and he just threw it at the TV and it splattered on the TV. I mean, it's bizarre as it is. Really, yeah. It matters so much.
I mean, even with the French, I think I'm right in saying they've got 3 goals, 2 own goals and a penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
Which tells you why he's keep on changing the system, whether it's Dembele, whether it's Thuram, whether it's Giroud coming on, or whether
Barcola on the left.
Barcola on the left, or Mbappe, or whatever he wants to play. It's like
Griezmann played on the right wing in the last game. But I would say I've got a couple of French friends, and one of them was texting me yesterday, and he went, "Oh, Coach Deschamps, he's so defensive." And I'm thinking, it's the same everywhere. That's it. He's won the World Cup. He's got to finals galore. Yeah. He's been incredibly successful. But ultimately, fans are never satisfied, really, unless you actually win the thing.
No, but they're flattered to deceive, though, France, because they've done no better than England, really, when you watch them. The only difference is the higher up the pitch. So
that's a big difference.
They've had a lot of possession in the game, so it looks like, they're on the front foot, but really they've been disappointing, really disappointing.
Micah Richards, distant. He's distant tonight. He's in Harrogate, in his home. You went back to see your little boy.
Yes, came back to see you. And who was on my plane again? Roy Keane.
Again?
I think he's following me.
Sure you're not liaising up together, you two, and then thinking, let's just get on the all go.
Don't be
together.
jealous.
Micah, do you want to get out a restraining order? Right, let's talk a little bit about Netherlands. Netherlands, first time they've shown a bit of real form at this tournament, I thought. Romania started the game really well, but after that, Netherlands dominated, missed a lot of chances, but in the end, it was very comfortable.
Oh, they were miles better.
We did the game, didn't we, Alan?
They were miles better. They were much the better team. Other than the first 15 minutes when Romania had a real high energy and pressed and put them under pressure. But I thought everything about their game was superb. Defensively, didn't give hardly anything away. Midfield, they dominated midfielders. And then up front, I thought Gakpo, without doubt, he was man of the match. Could have added 2 or 3 goals. I mean, the Netherlands should have won by 6 or 7. The number of chances they created, and they were well worth their place in the quarterfinal.
What did you think of Marlon when he came on?
Very good.
Well, he scored 2 goals, but he was a threat throughout, wasn't he? He made a real difference. Good substitution from Ronald Koeman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even though they were winning, he brought him on, and that kind of brave substitution.
Yeah, I thought everything about their game, guys, was very, very good. I think underwhelming. I think I said on the BBC prior to the game in terms of how they were in the group stage. They had to come out and make a statement, and I think they did that definitely. I mean, they've put a marker down. They improved, I thought, in every department, and I thought they were brilliant. Yeah.
What did you think of the punditry, Micah?
Really enjoyed it.
Did you sit back and learn something?
Yes, I enjoyed your pieces with Memphis Depay, actually, about he could be the difference within the game, but certain things he could work on. He's not going to press. I like the stuff with Weghorst as well, sort of being used as substitute and making a difference when he comes on as well. I like that Reinders. Is that how you pronounce his name? Reinders.
Reiners, yeah.
Is that Milan?
He's only 21. He's basically baby Reinders. I've been desperate to get that terrible pun in for the last 2 weeks.
You can't help yourself, can you?
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can only apologise.
I thought he was very good, and I just thought it was an overall great team performance in terms of what you want to see. You're up against a weaker nation, stats-wise. Can you go out there and put in a really good performance? And I thought they did.
After 15 minutes, you thought, oh my goodness, Romania were full on, weren't they? Right in their faces, really high.
Just lacked that quality up top, didn't
and
they?
once there was a goal,
threat.
they kind of...
They didn't have no threat.
No, they hadn't got the quality of players.
Netherlands were better in every position.
You know what we need to do? At some stage.
By the way, this is how bad I was with that joke, Micah. Sorry to interrupt. He's actually 25.
Is it 25?
But compared with me, he still is a baby.
We need to have we need to do our 11 up until this stage. We'll do our best 11 of the tournament, but I feel like a lot of players will be forgotten because of not gone to the latter stages of the competition.
Well, maybe do that after the quarterfinals.
Yes, correct.
Let's
do
gap
after the
there
quarter.
because I think that would be good because we've got. It's worth pointing out at this point. We've got Eric Cantona tomorrow. We've got.
I've seen the clips going out on social media.
Well, we did it.
Today.
We did it a week or two ago, didn't we? And it was great, wasn't it? I mean, he's
fabulous.
He's
What
quirky. He's smart. He's hilarious, and I think you'll really enjoy that. So that'll be with you first thing Thursday morning. So make sure you listen to that. I want to talk about the Turkey-Austria game, which obviously won me our little internal battle for in terms of our predictions. Because I went Turkey. You went Turkey too, Micah, and you claimed that I copied you, but I 100% didn't. And that cost Alan. Alan had a terrible day.
Yeah.
But what a game. Turkey. It's a brilliant story. I must say, by the way, it's important to point out, I think, that there's been a big story here in Germany because the game between Turkey and Austria was not on terrestrial television because they've got a kind of strange thing here where it's shared between a few channels, and there's a one where you have to pay to get it, and with this particular game that was one of the very few matches that wasn't available free to air. And obviously there's a huge Turkish community in Germany and it's become a big deal, and it probably will be exacerbated by the fact that it was such a great game, so exciting. Turkey got 2-0 ahead. Austria came back. And my goodness me, that save at the end from Mert. I mean, gold, frankincense and Mert. I would have probably closed the show with, being the cheesy arsehole that I can be.
I mean, that was Banks.
It was Gordon Bank. That's what we said, wasn't it? That was a bank. But in the last second, what a save, Micah.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I think the fact that Turkey they got the goals and they sat deep, didn't they? The players were getting cramp. They was out of positions. Don't forget, they didn't have their key man, Çalhanoğlu, as well, who normally dictates in the middle of midfield, who was out because he was suspended.
I actually didn't realise that when we made our predictions.
Did you not?
I didn't know he was out, thankfully. I'll admit, I don't mind.
He did. But then to see the defenders, a commitment as well. But one player, is it Kadiaglu, the left wing back?
With the hair.
He is incredible. The way he goes forward, the way he defends, his energy. But then coming on to the save, in the last moment when he needs your keeper, because he was really good with his feet within the game, wasn't he? He was really calm. He didn't have much to do in terms of saving shots. He had a couple of saves. That one from Arnautovic, wasn't it? When he got out really quick.
Yeah.
But then the last minute, when he needed a keeper to be strong, it was just incredible. His agility, the way he pushed it up and high as well. It was just, wow. What a save.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want him to get 8 out of 8, so I was roaring Austria.
We were having a bit of banter at this point. He was roaring Austria.
And I was off my seat when it was like, I thought it was in. That's the equaliser going to extra time. But wow, what
and then
a
I
save,
jumped off the sofa going, yeah! What a save!
But we can't move on without talking about Real Madrid's Güler.
Güler, yeah.
Oh,
Güler.
19 years of age.
I know. Incredible talent, eh?
Superstar. And it's not just because he scored that worldie in the group stages when he had that, he bent it from, I can't remember, 30 yards or whatever it was. It's the way he manipulates the ball and he keeps the ball for the team, plays the right pass at the right time. He's going to be the next big thing, I think.
I think he's super talented. Well, he's at Real Madrid for a reason,
Exactly,
Micah.
yeah.
I mean, Turkey, I really enjoyed watching them play. I really enjoyed their fans. Do you ever score against Turkey, Alan?
You fucking dickhead.
You did, didn't you?
Well, I did score against Turkey, yeah. But
It's a big but.
But
there's a big but coming in here, Meeks.
2 hat-tricks, Micah.
2 hat-tricks.
2 hat-tricks. Yeah, at Wembley.
Friendlies or Euros or World Cups?
I think they were qualifiers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, proper games.
So not
Micah.
great then.
No, what qualifiers for tournaments? Good finish as well. You can Google them, Mike. Have a little look. Just put in Gary Lineker hat-tricks against Turkey.
Guaranteed they're not on YouTube. That's a guarantee.
I'll guarantee you there are. I've just checked. I've been watching them all night. What do you mean?
I guarantee they're in black and white though.
Hey, they are. Funnily enough. No,
Meeks, did you see the fullback today for Romania? The right back.
Which one?
The guy with the blue hair.
Yeah.
Oh, and Alex called him Sonic.
Sonic, yeah, that's
Sonic
right.
Hedgehog,
yeah. That's I kept calling him Lineker with a blue rinse.
Yeah.
I seen that. He said, "At least I've got something to rinse."
Yeah, exactly. The jealous twat. Oh dear. We have some good games though.
Yeah.
It's better. The knockout football's better. It's funny, even though we did obviously the Portugal game against Slovenia last night, and you had to feel for Slovenia, but at the same time, what a performance. To get to the last 16 is amazing, and to push Portugal all the way to penalties is also incredible. But it wasn't a very good game, was it, really? It was
just till extra time.
I mean, the first half was okay, but extra time got excited. And that's the thing about knockout football. At the end, even then with the penalties are so intense, so exciting, so brilliant to watch. There's always something, isn't it? And if you look at the quarterfinals, which we'll do on another episode, we'll make our predictions and look at them. But Germany, Spain, France, Portugal, Switzerland, England, and Netherlands, Turkey.
Tough to call.
I mean, they'll be tough to call. But, I mean, amazing games. Big nations.
Yeah.
Big nations.
Are we going to make our predictions for that as well, or not?
We will. Not now, though. Not now.
We're not going to.
I need to study. I need to make sure who's playing. Who's not.
Look how seriously he's taking it now because he's 8 out of 8.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, yeah, it's a serious business. This,
Anyone would think you knew what he was talking about.
I haven't got a Scooby-Doo, but I'll make it up as I go along. But it's very exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I can't wait. I mean, just the tournament in general. I think I talked about the the last Euros we did from Salford, and then World Cup in Qatar. But being in Berlin and the studios, the backroom staff, the pundits, editors, producers, runners, everyone. It's just been an enjoyable time. Like, we get to do Match of the Day, which is wonderful, isn't it? Because it's amazing every Saturday. But doing the Euros really has been something special. So when you get to the quarters and all the big nations are playing against each other, it just gets more and more exciting, doesn't it?
It's the best. It's the best. That's all for today's episode of The Rest is Football. We've got those quarterfinals to look forward to, some cracking games we've got in store to enjoy later in the week. Before we go, a quick message. Once again, just to remind you, we've got an in-depth interview with Eric Cantona on tomorrow's episode. It was as fun and insightful as you'd imagine it would be with Eric. Certainly not one to miss. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.